We started it as a content marketing agency that does lead generation. We are still a content marketing agency that does lead generation. The only thing that is going to create quality new patients through marketing is by leveraging your expertise, leveraging the platforms where they are looking for answers and spending their time.
Hello and welcome to the Remarkable CEO Podcast, a show dedicated to chiropractors who want to transform their job into a business so that they can have a remarkable practice as part of a remarkable life, not instead of one. With your hosts, Dr. Pete Camiolo and Dr. Stephen Franson.
At Genesis, we help successful chiropractors implement spinal decompression with a fully turnkey system that handles everything from marketing and new patient generation to systems, protocols, and ongoing support. The result? Massive value for your practice and life-changing outcomes for your patients, all without drugs or surgery. This is the next evolution in chiropractic care. Welcome to Genesis. Welcome to another episode of the Remarkable CEO Podcast, chiropractic's #1 business podcast. I'm Dr. Pete Camiolo, and today I have with me a special guest, a remarkable CEO of multiple businesses, Dr. Nick Silveri. Hey, he is not a stranger to this podcast, and every episode that he joins us, we get great feedback from all of you listeners. So, hey, by the way, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a great listener to the show. We truly hope that this adds massive value to you and your business. And hey, if you like the show, please share with a colleague. Make sure you like it. We'd love to get a review if this is something that's been adding value to you. So please do that as well. We love the love. And if you can love on us, hey, we love that. And we'll definitely give you a shout out. But I want to give a shout out to my guest today, which is Dr. Nick Silveri, for taking the time. So Dr. Nick, thanks for taking the time out of your week to join me today in the studio.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, man.
I know you are a numbers guy. You keep count of how many times you've been a guest on the podcast. Do you know, are we in double digits yet, or are we still below double digits?
I think we're getting close. I don't know the exact number, but I would guess that it's probably in double digits at this point. We do know that it's the all-time #1 guest, numbers wise, like maybe not popularity, but numbers wise.
I think it might be both categories as popular guests as well as numbers. But today we're gonna have a conversation about marketing. So I want to tee this up really well. Here's what we're gonna do, guys. Dr. Nick is an expert in our space. He's a chiropractor, right? He'll tell you that. He's gonna talk about it. He's got a practice. He's got a clinic. He's scaled it. He's done great things. He'll probably talk about that. He's also built a business inside of chiropractic to serve chiropractic inside of chiropractors and help them with their marketing. From the inside, though, as a chiropractor who's testing it and has tested it, and he's been ahead of the curve when it comes to teaching us about the importance of content. He was saying this since the first time I met him, and he's been on top of this from the beginning, and he's been leading the charge and helping chiropractors navigate, Dr. Nick, you might say, the ever-changing landscape of the digital marketing space and world, and you've just been on top of it from the beginning, always keeping us on the tip of the spear, which we love about you. But we're going to hit on 3 things today that Dr. Nick wants to talk about that I think is going to matter to you as a listener. So whether you are in the thick of running digital marketing and you spend tens of thousands a month to grow your empire, or you're new to the game, or you're just getting involved, or you aren't even involved at all, wherever you're at, everything that Dr. Nick's about to teach and share and we're going to discuss is going to be incredibly relevant and valuable for you. Number 1, we're going to talk about quality leads. The word always comes up, but Dr. Nick, I want you to unpack that, what that looks like, because the importance of quality matters. Mm-hmm. And here's the reality, and this is something I know you're going to unpack, is that you're going to talk about what Facebook ads don't do. Okay, because what Facebook ads don't do is they do not touch quality and qualification of leads. That's number 1. We're going to unpack that. Number 2, we're going to talk about content. But we're going to talk about a word called comprehensiveness. And we're going to unpack what does that look like for you and your business to be comprehensive in this. And then the third thing we're going to hit on is AI and why many of you want to use AI probably in the wrong way. And Dr. Nick's going to course correct all of you today, hopefully. So we're going to hit on that. We'll probably tell some stories as well. Like, for example, how Dr. Nick has 2 trophies from TRP. for 2 7-figure club trophies. So if you guys didn't know that, Dr. Nick is a 2-time plaque holder. Look at that, 2 gears. If
Side by side, we went there.
you're watching us on YouTube, that's 2 plaques for both of his business achieving the 7-figure mark. So Dr. Nick, anything new that we should know about you and your family? Because I know you're just an awesome doc, amazing CEO. Help our audience get to know you a little bit. What you've been up to? What are you enjoying right now in this chapter of your journey?
Definitely my son. He's 2 years old tomorrow, and we've got our little girl is on the way. She could be here any day. Due date is probably what is it now? Probably 3 weeks away right now. So we are in the thick of it. We just had his birthday party this weekend up at our weekend house in Michigan. Get away from the craziness of Chicago on the touristy weekends, and it's just been a lot of fun. He's just got like a great personality, and it's a fun time. So I'm an old dad, so I'm experiencing all this for the first time.
Well, you're a great dad. I already know because we've chatted about that on and off over the last 2 years. It's hard to believe it's 2 years.
Uh,
And I remember the months leading up to that. So it's probably been 2.5 years we've been talking about this. You're an incredible father. One of the things I love about you as a dad is you're intentional. And that's what makes you a great marketer as well. Because marketing is all about being intentional and being strategic. And you've been that way as a father. So really happy for you and excited for number 2 to come along. And you will have your hands full. I'm just gonna say that from my
Gotcha.
side. Two is full.
Okay, for
You
sure.
know, full set of hands. So you're gonna test your youthfulness. You're gonna
That's
stay
right.
young. You are gonna stay young. But no, let's talk about the marketing side of things. You know, whenever we have these podcasts as CEOs, you know, this is one of the areas of 5 domains you're overseeing and is being reported to you as a CEO. How
Mhm.
is the attraction domain of your business functioning? So today we're going to get into digital marketing and dig in. And so there's 3 things I know you said we wanted to cover because these are the things that matter to the CEOs who you talk to on a weekly basis. Talk about what we want. What's the first thing you want to hit on today, Dr. Nick?
I think just the quality new patient side of it. That's probably the thing I hear the most. This year we made a concerted effort. Prior to this year, I really did all of my advertising dollars went towards content. It was me sharing value, pushing that out to chiropractors, trying to reach as many as possible, educating, jab, 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 right hook, like Gary Vee would say. And it was fantastic, and we attracted a lot of great doctors that way. But this year, we wanted to be more intentional with our direct lead generation, and I wanted to make it less personality based around me being the expert and more around like our system and our understanding of like what chiropractors are looking for and interested in when it comes to marketing. Because just like with chiropractic, we can want our patients to want something or care about something, but a lot of times they only care about the thing they care about. And we've talked a lot about story brand on this podcast, and just like you and I together, story brand is all about clarifying your message and keeping the focus on the hero and what they actually want. For leverage media, the successful chiropractor who is wanting to upgrade their marketing is the hero for our story brand. And I wanted to really test out like what are the messages that they really care about. Not what I want them to care about, but what they really care about. And the number one thing that I found they really care about is how can we get more qualified new patients through the door. Everybody I talked to, it used to be 5 years ago, I was explaining to them why a digital marketing agency was important and what that meant and what Facebook ads were. But now everybody has been through 5 agencies, I would guess is probably around the average that I talk to. And they keep jumping from one to the next, to the like one mousetrap to the next mousetrap. And the salespeople are good at selling the doctors on like, well, we're special because of XYZ. And like you said, I've been singing the same song since we started. Like we started it as a content marketing agency that does lead generation. We are still a content marketing agency that does lead generation. The only thing that is going to create quality new patients through marketing is by leveraging your expertise, leveraging the platforms where they are looking for answers and spending their time. So right now, that's Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and now more and more the AI platforms like ChatGPT and so on. But all of them, regardless of what platform exists next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you creating valuable content is going to be the thing that they're hungry for, the thing that they want. That's what's going to get you shown in SEO, Google Maps, the feed, the AI, the language learning models, like everything is real, or the large learning models, everything is being shown based off of who's the most relevant, who has the most value for whatever somebody is searching for or what content they're looking for. And we don't have the sexiest content in the world. Like chiropractic content is like, unless you have these problems, like, why would you watch it? But for the people that have the problems, it's super valuable, it's super relevant. And it's our job to like put it in the places where they're spending their time, social media, put it in the places where they're looking for answers, SEO, AI, YouTube.
Good. Can you talk about, can you differentiate, just for the listeners, this is a good topic, relevance versus value? Because I think sometimes people can confuse that. Like
Mhm.
you said, like speaking to the listening of the person. You shared even your own like revelation in a sense where you said, you know what DCs really need and what they want is, how can I
Yeah,
get more new patients in the door? Like
right.
that's actually what I care about. I've tried XYZ. I've tried this many numbers of agencies, and you don't, I mean, you as a marketing don't have a problem with that. That's just part of the deal. That's part of the game. But what you're doing specifically in your agency with what you do is you want to find a place where doctors can land and be and work with you for an extended period of time, because you're able to keep what? Getting more new patients in the door. So
Right.
can you just differentiate the value from your perspective? Because you've
Yeah.
seen probably a lot of content, and relevance, and what's the difference there?
Well, in terms of like chiropractic content, relevance is going to be around the things they care about, which is normally body signals. Like for a new patient, they have different wants and needs than an existing patient. So let's take somebody who has low back pain that is in your area. If they're like searching for a chiropractor, or they're just they're like searching for a solution to their low back pain, they probably only care about low back pain. They probably don't care that much about the chiropractic lifestyle, right? So let's say you have the best low back pain content on your website or on social or however they find you. They then come in, you're great at what you do. Their low back pain, usually goes away in a couple of visits, a couple of weeks at most, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's 2 weeks. They're low back pain free. They no longer care about low back pain. It is not relevant to them anymore because now they don't have low back pain. But now they're in your office. Now they're an existing patient. Now they're more open to the conversation of the chiropractic lifestyle, because the chiropractic lifestyle helps keep the low back pain away and the other ailments that nobody wants, right? So now it's like the relevancy has shifted to what you really want them to care about, which is like living a healthy lifestyle, and what they probably want care about as well. They just have, maybe been in the medical model or just didn't know anything, or like now they're there. They're like, I think it was Franson that like talked about this analogy, which I always like, is too many times chiropractors are at the top of the steps, like screaming down at the patient with low back pain. You should care about lifetime family wellness, instead of just walking down to the first step, meeting them where they're at, walking them up step by step into the lifetime family wellness that we all want our patients to care about. In terms of the value, like you have to, okay, if you create a video on how chiropractic helps to eliminate low back pain, and it's a terrible video, you might like, it might be relevant to them. They might click on it, they might start watching. But then if you're just bad at it, if you're bad at delivering the message, there won't be as much value as if you're fantastic at delivering the message and you're coming across as an expert. So first you have to like, relevancy, I feel like, is number one. They have to know that you're speaking to them. If you're talking about how chiropractic can help keep you healthy, they're like, they don't even see it, like.
Yeah.
But when it's about low back pain, when it's about sciatica, when it's about headaches, when it's about breech pregnancy, when it's about what to do after an auto accident, like whatever you care about, you've got to share that. Like some things are more broad topics than others, but you chose the type of practice you want to have. So it's your job to explain to your local audience why you're relevant and then deliver value around that topic. And you've got to be the expert. You have to come across as somebody who knows. You want at the end of the video for them to be like, huh, I didn't know that. And all of us have had that moment where they've seen the light bulb go off in someone or go on in someone's eyes when you explain it just the right way at the right moment. That's what you're trying to do with your content. It's not about like showing them the new shockwave unit. It's about explaining how the shockwave unit can eliminate their knee pain because they only care about the knee pain. They do not care about shockwave or chiropractic or decompression or any of it. They just like all they care about is the solution. And one thing, just so I don't forget to say this, is that for a bunch of people in a profession that talk about their patients need to do health the right way, everybody wants this, everyone wants a six-pack, right? Everybody wants to look great in a swimsuit, right? The patients want to take the shot, right? The chiropractor wants them to understand that's not the right way to do it, that the right way to do it is to eat right, drink water, get sleep, think good thoughts, hit the gym, like do all the hard things to make these results last, right?
Mm.
But then they get on these calls with marketing agencies and they are like running to the shots. They want the six pack of the marketing world, but they don't want to go to the gym. They don't want to eat the vegetables. They don't want to drink the water. They want the shortcut. And I've been saying since we launched this thing that the way to get the six pack that you want with your marketing is to do stuff the right way. Now, some of those things will have an impact today, next week, next month, but some of them won't have an impact until next year or 3 years or 10 years. But it's like, if you're going to be in practice in 10 years and you're going to need a new patient to be a qualified new patient in 10 years, you might want to start doing the things now to best qualify those patients in 10 years and pick up all the people along the way.
It's really good. I love the analogy, actually, and I think most chiropractors are resonating with you right now, and just the difference between the health strategy to lose the weight and be in shape and have rock hard abs, and
Yeah.
there's two paths, and there's the right, and then there's a fast, and then there's the actual lasting path. And so we teach that, obviously, like you said, when it comes to our patients. Why are we not having that same approach for our marketing? It's brilliant. And I know we talk about the whole idea of the person at the top of the stairs yelling to the bottom of the stairs, meeting a patient, meeting someone where they're at.
Yeah.
If you think about it in the sense of, like, let's just take the digital out and we're doing physical hand-to-hand combat, like old school external marketing.
Yeah.
And I'm out
like you and I built our,
you and I are talking, and you're at an event and you happen to walk by my amazing booth, and you're like, what is this? What do you guys got? And I start talking to you and you're like, oh man, I got these issues with my neck, man. It's been giving me so much trouble. I can barely turn, and affects. I was like, oh yeah, dude, that sucks, man. Does it affect your work at all? It's like, yeah, dude, it can't. Actually, my job, I got to look over to the right all the time and I can't do it. So I had to change this thing. And you're like, if I started talking about the lifestyle of the healthiest people and how you'd be like, did you not hear a word that I said? I was teeing you up perfectly for what you have to offer for me, and you missed me. I would have done a terrible job screening you right there. Right. So we're saying, what you're saying is, hey, we've got to meet the person with relevance. Like, hey, what's their issue? What are they concerned about? It's this neck, man. I can barely turn it. It's bothering me. Every night. I can't sleep at night. I'm having to take stuff. I hate doing that. Not able to work out. Couldn't golf last week with my buddies. Boom. I got it. I heard what you said, and I'm speaking directly to that. Is this interfering with your life, right? You're saying, and then the value comes with the way that you're able to communicate that, with the look and feel of your brand, and how you shared it and how you communicate it. You said something earlier today. It might have been on this call. It might have been before or on this podcast. Might have been right before, but you talked about removing yourself from the equation as well. Can you talk about that? Like, in terms of scalability for a CEO who's listening and says, yeah, but that just feels like, is that just more work for me, Dr. Nick? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So real quick, I before I move on, I did want to, before I forget this part, when we talk about offline marketing and online marketing, when I do websites with clients, one of the main goals that I tell them that we're trying to accomplish is to make sure that the online experience matches the offline experience. So if does not represent who you are as a practice or as a practitioner, that you're missing it, because like people are just savvy now. They're expecting more and more, even out of local businesses, for what their online presence looks like. Not just their website, but their socials, their YouTube, that you're producing content, that you're adding value. But if they are on your website, it should really represent who you are, what you're all about. They should be able to get an idea of what the practice looks like, feels like. That's why I like make sure that our clients use their words. I'm not doing it for them. I'm not using AI. I'm not using a bunch of cookie cutter filler nonsense that no one cares about. I'm like, let's use your, I'm going to guide you through it, but it's got to be your words. So that's one thing that I think is super important, that if you've got a great offline experience, like in your practice, but you feel like your online experience does not match that, it's probably time to have a conversation. So we were talking about taking yourself out of it. I hear this a lot from doctors that have associates on like, well, how much should I be in the content? So when we were talking, I think it was before the podcast started, but when we were talking about all this testing that we've been doing, I purposefully did not want it to be like videos of me being the like charismatic center of leverage media. I wanted it to be about the message, about like what is hitting people right between the eyes, people that don't know me. Like all the TRP doctors know who I am. So sometimes the messages I get from TRP doctors can be skewed because I've poured into this community for 10 years. I wanted to see like, what do strangers on the internet that are chiropractors care about, and what are they clicking on and resonating with, and setting up time to talk to me to find out more about like that message. So for the doctors that are out there that want that durability, I run a 7-figure practice and I haven't seen patients in over a decade, and I'm only there 1 day a month. The reason I'm able to do that is because of a great team, great systems, and great marketing that is not built around my personality. I'm the best content creator of the doctors that work for with me in the practice. But I'm not creating, especially now, like in the beginning, I created a lion's share of the content, but now I don't, because now I'm like more focused on content for leverage media. But the message is the same. The delivery, who is delivering the content, doesn't really matter if you've got the message. Obviously, you want whoever creates the best content to create the most content. Like a lot of these young doctors grew up in a world that you and I didn't grow up in. I didn't grow up creating when I was in chiropractic school, like when I was in outpatient clinic and like tried 10 was when I got my first MySpace page. So like I didn't grow up with, like Gen X is the best gen, because we like grew up in the 80s without phones and distractions, and we just got to be crazy. And then we got all the benefits of technology when we got older. But these kids these kids that are graduating now, that are 22 years old, they're graduating having grown up creating content for their own life. So they might be better at creating content than you are.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you give them a permission structure and you point them in the right direction, it can really start to take a lot of weight off of you, if you have help. And then if you don't have help, if it's just you, which a lot of our doctors are single doctor offices, leverage media is a great solution, because I've already done all the thinking and the strategy for you, and my team does all the technical optimization for you. So steps 1 and 3 are handled for you. All you got to do is hit record, follow the plan, turn it in.
Good.
Yeah.
I love it that you have, you're able to scale the content creation at this stage in the game, and you guys have figured out how to do it and do it successfully. So I love that. And that should hopefully be encouragement to everybody who's listening, whether you're the only doctor in the office or you have multiple doctors in your office. If you have multiple doctors, this should be part of the ENA when it comes to what you can expect in terms of your role inside of this practice or
Oh, for sure.
practices. That, to be a contributor in that way is awesome. Number 2 thing I know we wanted to hit on was comprehensiveness. We talked about how important it is to be comprehensive in your approach.
Yeah.
And that's, again, something you've also continued to preach and teach. But you want to unpack that. What does that look like in 2025 right now? And this is what doctors are interested in.
Yeah, so that was another, like, that quality of new patients was by far and away number one of like what doctors were like hungriest for. But the thing that gets them on the call with me is that we're just different than almost all agencies that are out there for chiropractors in that we take this very comprehensive approach, this content first approach. Most of them have gone through the 30 guaranteed new patients. We have the magic Facebook ad. They've done all the like one-off tactics, and they might work for a little while and then they don't work anymore. We've got an ad out right now that's kind of on that Coldplay Kiss Cam idea, where it like shows like the 3 steps in the process where it's like they're smiling, having a great time. They realize they're on Kiss Cam, and then they're like ducking and like diving away from the camera. And the first one where they're smiling and happy is like the Facebook agency that convinces you that they've got the magic Facebook trick. And then the second one is like 10 days later. The third one is 30 days later. And it's just like funny because that is every time I get on one of these calls, they come in real guarded because they're just expecting like the same pitch. And then we spend 50 of the 60 minutes just like talking about their stuff, talking about what their challenges are. So the comprehensive nature is what gets a lot of people onto the call. And then that's why they usually choose us, is because they believe that we take a very comprehensive approach and that will lead to qualified new patients. They don't, just like patients don't care about chiropractic or shockwave or decompression, or they don't care about the vehicle to get there. They just care about the destination and the result. So they ultimately only care about the quality of new patients, but they believe that the comprehensive approach that I have always preached is the right way to do it. So in 2025, a comprehensive approach looks like creating content on social media where people are at: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Most people have like a favorite platform that they're on. They might be on multiple platforms, but they may spend 90% of their time on one or the other. So having your content out there, getting in front of people that live in your area, because we're not trying to be a national influencer. We're just trying to dominate our local market. We're just trying to be top of mind for these people. The reason why all these PI attorneys spend so much money on billboards and catchy radio and the sides of buses is because they know that they got to be top of mind when somebody gets into the accident. And it's your job to be top of mind and the expert when somebody has the problems that you want to solve. But then when they go to search, let's say somebody's been watching, maybe not even like consuming the content, they've just seen it in their feed for the last 3 years. They've seen you, your handsome face, you being helpful, not an ad, just like how chiropractic can help with this, and 3 things you should do if you've got headaches, and 3 foods to avoid if you've got gut issues, or whatever you talk about, right? You're sharing all that on social media, and people just can't help but see it. They can't help but see your face. They can't help but see your name, your logo, and the fact that you're being helpful, because all your competition is just running the $27, the 21, the 47 for whatever the sales pitch is, right? And everybody is onto that. They know that the coupon is for the sales pitch. What they're interested in is value, but they might not always be ready for it, right? So 3 years, they've seen 50 of your videos. They haven't watched any of them. They've just seen that they exist. And then they decide to go and type in chiropractor near me. And let's say instead of showing up in the first position, you show up in the second position. 80% of the clicks happen to whoever shows up in the first position, except if the second position has more brand than the first position. If you're in a commodity, if you're in the commodity conversation where you're no different than any other chiropractor in town, then it will be based on whoever has the most reviews or whoever's closest to work or whatever. But if you've built even a little bit of brand, just a little bit of awareness that they've heard of ABC Chiropractic, and there you are in second place, they're like, oh, I've heard, I see his videos all the time. And they click on it and they skip over the one that they haven't heard of. They may be spending more money than you. But when you build brand, that's like the ultimate trump card, where it's like you can spend all the money in the world, but if you're a soda company, you can spend all the money in the world, but you're never going to beat Coke because they've got brand. They've got brand loyalty, right? So it's the same way with you in your local market. You've got to show up where they're spending their time, and you've got to show up where there is attention or there is intention, meaning they're going to look for something. And in both places, again, right now that's Google, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube mainly. It's quickly starting to add in AI. But no matter what it is, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, the content is what matters. The content is what makes a human being decide on one thing or another. The platforms will show you, like the algorithm might show you more if you're creating more value. Your SEO might be better if you create more value, but that's just to get the click or the impression. Once they're there, once the human being is on your sciatica page, it's up to you to convince them that your approach to sciatica is the right approach. And the only way you can do that is through content, written in video, all day, every day. Like, it's just like so simple. And when they see you, when they do their research, which they do, they might start with a Google search, they might start on YouTube, they might start on Facebook, but eventually they're going to, like, I think they narrow it down to maybe 3 offices. And then they look at the stuff that matters to them. If I consume Instagram more, I'll probably go to Instagram to, like, look at the 3 offices. If I think YouTube is a great place for information, that might be where I go. And the more that online experience can match your offline experience, and it can be cohesive and comprehensive across the platforms, the more, I mean, it just makes sense to a human being. Like, when you listen to it, think about who you do business with. Every time I get on one of these calls, I'm like, do you make your personal family healthcare decisions based off of random coupons that pop up in your Facebook feed? 100% of people say no. And then I'm like, but that's what you're doing. That's what you're thinking is going to, like, double your practice with the best patients you've ever dreamed of. And it's just, like, not how humans work. It's like, do the things that humans care about, which is, like, put some effort in, share your expertise, stop running a speakeasy. Don't make it to where they have to know someone to get into your practice. Like, democratize the information. We get paid on the doing of the thing. I'm on here democratizing information about create more content. I get paid for doing the thing to help you do it easily. What I'm saying is not, like, all of you know who Alex Ramosi is, and Gary Vee is, and Stephen Franson and Pete Camiolo. You guys know who these people are that are just freely sharing how to, like, share your expertise. But sometimes you just need help doing it. So I'm here to, like, help you do it.
Good.
And I also try to educate as well, because some people, like, just, they're new to it. They might not know who Alex Ramosi is or Pete Camiolo is. But it's like, it's up to us. It's up to me to, like, explain to chiropractors that you've got to get beyond the, like, first grade version of marketing, which is running the coupon on Facebook and, like, calling it a day.
It's good. All I had to do was poke you, and you were off to the races. So that was awesome. You just put on a class right there. Nice, really good. I want to hit the third thing, and we can make this our final thing, because I know, as someone myself who's using AI, I've been playing around with it. I'm sure everybody that's listening to this is in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But you're saying that many chiropractors are probably using AI, and they're thinking about AI the wrong way when it comes to their marketing. Can you talk about that? Because that is as relevant as a topic as there could be. Talking about relevance.
Yeah.
You always add value. So I'm just gonna give you a nudge and say, what when you say that we're probably using it the wrong way or thinking about it the wrong way, what does that mean?
The, like, practicing chiropractor does not have a lot of time, especially for marketing. Like, marketing is always, like, very, unless you enjoy marketing, like, just personally, marketing is almost always, like, very far down the list of things that they want to do, especially around content, especially around writing content, right? So AI comes along, ChatGPT comes along, and everybody's like, holy shit, like, I can just, like, type in a sentence and get a 1,500 word blog post that I would never write on my own. It's like, yes, you can. If you think that that is then going to go on your website and is going to rank you number 1 for all the things that you care about, and you can just do that 1,000 times, Google is onto it. Like, they know it. like using AI, like we filter all the content that comes in from clients with our AI detector. And if it's past a certain percentage, like it's their business, so they can like make the ultimate decision. But we basically try to like kick it back to them to be like, listen, you've got to like, you have to do it yourself, because you're gonna do all this hard work and all this video content and the written content, and then it's just not gonna work. It might work for the short term, but AI or Google is just like shutting down more and more and more pages that are ranking with every algorithm update. Like I'm in all of these like SEO groups and Facebook groups and like all these like marketing groups that chiropractors probably are not a part of. And they're doing like big national brands, but they'll be like, oh, climbing traffic and then off a cliff because an algorithm update just wipes them out. So you want to build you want to do the nice part about especially like websites and SEO is you really only got to do the work one time and then you can move on to the next topic. But it's like when you're doing the work, it's for SEO, for Google specifically, you should be doing it through your human brain. You might be able to use ChatGPT or any of these other tools to help you brainstorm, to come up with some outlines, but the finished product has to go through a human brain if you want this to stand the test of time. Where that's where I see most people being like, "Oh wow, this is amazing that that this is working out the way that I thought it would." And again, it may work for a little while, but in the long term, you're building a foundation on sand when you're using it for SEO. What I think you should be using it for is great video titles, bullet points for those video titles, getting anything that is not like search, it's not for search engines. So like writing email sequences, setting those up, because like writing things is usually like the hardest things for chiropractors. And written word is what a lot of people consume. Like everybody is like very fascinated with video, but that's mainly because the platforms want more video. But like when somebody opens up an email, to be able to just like quickly scan what it is that you're talking about, that is where building a chat GPT in your voice to be able to really speak the way that you speak about the topics that you care about, that is where it's super powerful, where it's like creating good text messages, reactivation campaigns, any kind of email sequence around any specific topic. Like if somebody has low back pain and they don't follow up, they don't schedule the appointment, how can we set that nurture sequence up? That's where you can do that 1,000 times. So just keeping the focus more on how can I serve my existing patient base, or how can I nurture leads, I think is probably like the best way a practicing chiropractor could use it. Anything that is search related is either going to be unhelpful, or it could like really bite you in the ass down the road and could hurt the rest of the website that may be human written.
It's really good. Huge insights here. So this is the Remarkable CEO podcast. I'm today have Dr. Nick Silverio, a remarkable CEO, with us. Dr. Nick, you've just been giving us so much gold. So again, thank you for being a part of the Remarkable Practice family. Like you said, it's been 10 years. You've been just continuing to show up, add value, serve and support. You've helped so many of the doctors who we serve inside of our organization, obviously many who are not. And obviously now everybody who's listening to you on the podcast gets to know you. If you didn't know who Dr. Nick was before, check him out. Leverage Media. These guys are awesome. They're serving chiropractic and chiropractors. And we've seen Dr. Nick and seen the work that you do. And you help so many doctors, and you're helping us help more people, which, guys, remember, what's the purpose of marketing? Marketing is messaging, and you're the messenger. And what Dr. Nick and what he does is he helps you in your function to be a better messenger. When you do that better, and you do that in a more relevant way, and you do that in a more value-driven way, it's going to drive the outcomes that you desire, because you're driving the outcomes that other people desire. Thanks for tuning in to the CEO podcast. And Dr. Nick, thanks again for joining me here today. Until we meet again, Nick, and for all of you who are listening in, take care and have a blessed rest of your day.
Thank you.
Please stick around for more business insights from this week's bonus interview with our remarkable success partner, dedicated to helping you more successfully help more people. Enjoy.
All right, guys, we are together today with someone I've known a long time in chiropractic. Always love running into him at seminars, and he happens to be the owner of the EHR system that I have used for now 15 or 16 years. So I'm grateful for all that he brings into the chiropractic ecosystem. So welcome, Dr. Brian Capra. Talk to us
Thank you so
about
much.
who you are and your business here, ClinicMind, formerly known as Genesis. I'm giving you the stage here. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great to see you as well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And we do go a long way back. Man, it's been,
Yes.
and it went like a blink, right?
Totally.
But a lot has happened in that time. So Genesis and ClinicMind, I know I get a lot of questions about that. Genesis and ClinicMind were really sister companies for the whole time, 20 years. One was more of the development company, one was more of the operation, sales, marketing. We just simply merged the two companies together. So it wasn't like some company gobbled us up or something like that. We did it so that we could actually gobble up others eventually. And we have made some acquisitions and things like that. So it's actually a really exciting time for us, for Genesis / by Clinic. It's now Genesis by ClinicMind.
Yeah.
So that we can keep the two names. You can tell our logo changed a little bit. And that's how we got here. About me, as you know, I've been a chiropractor since 2002, graduated from Life in Marietta, and I snuck out of there right before the accreditation issues and got right into practice, worked in some really high volume practices, and within a couple of years, met some really interesting people that were building technology for what was a big problem at the time for me, and that was the RCM space, revenue cycle management. As many people know it, billing, insurance billing. Yes. And so it was, they had built this platform, ironically, as a project for a major billing company in California. And the project got scrapped right before it was completed. New CEO, new change in ownership, and for whatever reason. So but it was revolutionary. It was in the cloud. It leveraged artificial intelligence to optimize collections for providers, and they had nobody to test it on, and I was the guinea pig. So that's how that's how it started. I became the guinea pig, and I turned around and I said, guys, my collections went up by like 40%. And I didn't change what I was billing or anything like that, but it was technology, it was the cloud, it was AI and automated workflows and things like that made the difference. So yeah, I said, we need to partner, because I had the billing company of my coach. So it was like the best out there, and it was hard relatively. So I said, we need a partner. I know a lot of people that need this, and that's not all they need, right? First of all, it's in the cloud. Imagine 20 years ago. And artificial intelligence, not the one we think of today, but the root of AI being used in technology was 20 years ago. So that we've been using cloud and AI for 20 something years plus. And so which I'm grateful for. Yeah, thank you. And so that's where we started. But I said, but there's much more to this, because what I realized is what that was doing for collections was a counterintuitive, different way to leverage technology to get better results. But it was this, you can use the same methodology for patient relationships and patient management and practice management. So we were integrating at the time with my current EHR at the time. And I said, if we just build these things, I can get rid of this really large bill every month and get most of what I need out of the front end of the system, and it's integrated, right? And I don't have to worry about asking doctors for notes when we're following up on claims, because we can go get them, right? Things like that. And of course, then compliance started to be a thing, and coding really became more prevalent. And that was just the kind of Genesis 1.0. And now we're in a whole new world right now, which is really exciting.
Well, I guess that's where my next question comes for you. So I love that you're a chiropractor and you evolved into this because of needing and seeing the need for it. So now with all that's available to us in tech, when you look at like what problems you're solving now for clinic owners and CEOs that are either unhappy with their current EHR, or maybe even still doing paper notes or something like that, or mad at their billing company, like possible. talk to me about why they would look at ClinicMind Genesis and how you're solving problems for them in the current tech-driven
Okay.
world.
Well, I would say Genesis was compared fairly, I guess, to most EHRs in the past, although we've had the cloud and all that and the integrated billing. It still was kind of hard for customers to kind of, what are you? Are you a billing company or software? You knew right away what we were because you were using both.
Mm-hmm.
But that was Genesis, like I said, kind of 1.0. 2.0 is, so most doctors were getting your EHR. Then they were getting something for reminders, something for payment processing, something for, next thing you know, your tech stack is like, this high, 30 different things. You're running your practice, your front desk is trying to keep those things held together with glue. God forbid something happens to that person that knows everything about all the systems that are kind of holding your practice together. You're in a difficult spot, right? There's no one person that can come in and say they know all that stuff, and you can't just hand them to somebody that can help them with everything. So the 2.0, there's AI, of course, which we can get into, but it's more of a single platform for providers that provides all the services. So we've gone into the 3 phases of the patient life cycle, where it's pre-care, it's point of care, and it's post-care. And there's technologies that apply in any one of those things. So there's marketing, there's attraction, there's all those things, right? There's marketing automations, there's reminders about the appointments to come, there's all of that great stuff. There's your social posting, your advertising, your content writing, your all that stuff. Well, there's technology for that now, especially with AI. There's scheduling bots, voice bots and chat bots and FAQ bots and all kinds of, probably 15 different bots. That's before a patient even knows about you. But that needs to be integrated with your EHR. Not like a plug-in API kind of thing. You do need to API it mostly, but it's different when we own it. Right. So we've built that patient hub that can do anything you can think of that any of those other reminder or reviews type systems do. So we built that, and it's integrated now with all kinds of awesome AI tools. And probably maybe one of the most important things, the support is unified, right? It's one company, obviously, that provides support for both parts of the patient life cycle on that technology.
Okay.
So you're using Genesis and you get Patient Hub, and you're using this engine to attract patients, convert them into new patients, bring them through the door, retain them, generate reviews, reactivate them, all the same engine. God forbid your key person leaves, you could take your next man or woman up and say, okay, it's one support. You have to learn these parts, but you don't have to go to 15 different companies. You go to one company, one support, one chat model, all that. So it's just that technology as an EHR company. And that's pre-care, that's during care. Post-care, there's a whole bunch of that marketing stuff. There's RCM, which is post-care. There's payment processing built in now. So it's just becoming a bigger engine.
That makes sense. I feel like what's interesting to me, using, like you said, the tech stack, and almost everything I ever have wanted to use, you guys speak to, and it goes back and forth very seamlessly for us. But I have, in coaching other doctors, realized that not all systems are built that way, and the headache, and as well as just the problem it can create in a practice, because obviously then they're forced to make some different decisions instead of having a choice there. It's like it's not there. So I guess in thinking about that, one of the things I realized is, like, we're in a different ecosystem. If the old model was like multiple CAs for every doctor to make everything flow, right? Now that tech is doing so much for us, like, what do you think the future of chiropractic looks like with more and more AI to help the patient experience?
I think if you ever remember, like Paul, was it Paul Pilzer, or do you remember him at UIC? But there's been throughout history always another new technology that everybody was afraid was gonna basically put people out of work, and all it ever did was explode the economy and give people new jobs. And so what's going to really happen is they're going to not be distracted with mundane tasks or tasks that they actually are not able to manage, right? So if you think about, or things that they're just not even, you want them to do, but you don't even know that they're not really able to do them to the level you want them to do. If you just want some person to manage your SEO, for example, and just write content, 1 or 2 blog posts a week, and post those things optimized, of course, that would, and they did it, that would totally change your SEO and bring tons of new patients and all that. If you wanted somebody to make sure no new patient phone call or inquiry on any channel was missed, just do that one thing. They couldn't even do it because you can't answer the phone with 2 people. You can't answer the phone while you're sleeping. You can't answer the phone while the office is closed. You can't. There's a whole bunch. It's between 22 and 33% of all new patient inquiries are missed completely. Go to a voicemail or some inbox somewhere where if they're not responded to within 5 minutes, they're gone. They're on to the next chiro. They can Google the next one. So I think what it's going to really do is just remove the noise from doctors and staff and focus them on what we're really here to do, the patient that's right in front of you, right? So they're gonna miss less visits because they're getting reminded. They're gonna generate more reviews. The system's gonna respond to those reviews for you, so they don't have to do that thing anymore. That's generating better SEO. That's attracting more, right? So you're getting all this compounding effect with technology, and it really compounds. I'm actually putting together a whole ebook series on this because the money is crazy when you do the simple math, even if you just eliminate missed new patient inquiries. Another simple time saver. You get messages from Google, from Instagram, from Facebook, from your email, from your whatever. That inbox is now unified in Patient Hub so that you can, if you click on that patient in Patient Hub, you can see the text, the email, the conversation back and forth, not having to go in 15 different places to piece this thing together. It pieces it together for you. So just the simple things like that, the time savings and the mental capacity and the memory management that's just eliminated completely. I think it already is revolutionizing how things are done. It is already a massive ROI. I think it's going to take a minute for docs to really, I think most doctors that are in the place, you tell me what the vibe is in TRP. Like, I think most docs realize that you got to get with it, right?
Oh yeah, I would say so for sure. And now it's more just like, how do we learn this and start to like reimagine how this can be used for us in different ways, which is part of why I asked that question. Because I agree with you that I think, it's still a connection business, and there's so many things that we were asking our people to do that could be done for us now through tech, that it really frees up either the capacity or just even more touch points with people that will feel great then, instead of feeling hurried or like you're dropping the ball somewhere else. So
I felt like when you and I spoke for a few minutes before we started with the Maha movement and all this, chiropractic with 60, 100,000 chiropractors on the planet, if you thought about it, if you do the math, on billions and billions of people, we don't have nearly the capacity. So it's got to change. We got to have, I believe we got to have, number one, more capacity by a lot. We got to have more chiropractors, obviously. To get more chiropractors, we got to be more successful, because who wants to jump into a profession where you're going to be not wealthy, not have a real success path, right? So we got to do that, and we got to prove the efficacy. Part of what we're doing is using the platform and the cloud and cloud storage and data lakes and for research purposes. So we are sharing data that can be de-identified data, where in a huge data lake, right? So any researcher can go to the data lake, and AI can go in the data lake, and you can plug in your requirements, and you can spit out research and data like nonstop, which chiropractic can't do relative to medicine, because we're not funded by pharma and all this stuff. But this levels the playing field. So I think with the Maha movement and technology, that it's all coming together in a really nice way for us.
I love that. That's exciting to think about. All right, so if people want a demo, or they want to connect with your crew and your team and see how this could work for them, because maybe they're like listening to this and thinking, I need to get on my A game with my technology, what do they do next?
Go to clinicmind.com. You can view all the different products, Genesis, we have a credentialing service, we have a whole bunch of telehealth now and all that great stuff. You can see Patient Hub, of course. And just, there's always, anywhere you go, there's a place to schedule. If you ever want to talk to me, email me, drbrian@clinicmind.com.
Perfect. Thanks, Dr. Brian.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Remarkable CEO Podcast. If you like this podcast, please subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with us personally, direct message us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Remember, what the world needs now is chiropractic, and what chiropractic needs now is more successful chiropractors.